Femi Otedola is my very good friend. There are only two people I follow on the Instagram, my wife and Femi Otedola. That tells you the level of friendship that we have. He's a man I admire and I respect, and he's a friend. In fact, we actually call ourselves brothers.
Toni, Elumelu and Femi Otedola are two admirable and incredibly successful billionaire businessmen who have built a solid and enduring friendship over the years. During an interview once, Toni Elumelu revealed that he considers Otedola not only as a friend but a brother. This close relationship between the two successful businessmen is not unexpected, as they are both wealthy, similar in age, and notorious for their aggressive corporate tactics and hostile takeovers like sharks. So, in April 2023, when the two billionaires locked horns in an attempt to become the single largest shareholder in multinational conglomerate Transcorp Group, many assumed that as friends, Elumelu and Otedola will go about it in the tenets of healthy brotherly competition. But we all know that saying, there is no friendship in business. And just days after Elumelu beat him in the game and forced him to take a bow, Otedola has accused his friend, the chairman of Transcorp, of backstabbing. In a statement that Otedola released on May 8th of this year, the chairman of Geregu Power lamented and recalled how Elumelu had betrayed him many times in the past, even though he did business with him from a pure heart as his friend. Did Elumelu truly betray his friend in the Transcorp dealings? What are the other times Elumelu backstabbed Otedola? Could this be the reason why the 60-year-old billionaire once went bankrupt? And is this just another case proving that there is no friendship in business?
Yes.
Hello guys, it's T-Code here for African Glitz.
On April 13, 2023, billionaire businessman Femi Otedola became the sensation of the corporate world after he bought 5.52% of Transcorp Group shares. The recent acquisition by the chairman of Geregu Power racked up his shares to 6.3%, making him the company's second largest shareholder. As expected, the development caused an instant controversy in the Nigerian financial market, especially what it entails for the long friendship between Otedola and his friend, Toni Elumelu, in their tussle for controlling interest in Transcorp. Transactional Corporation, famously called Transcorp Group, is a multinational conglomerate boasting investments in the hospitality, agricultural and oil and gas sectors. For years, billionaire businessman Toni Elumelu, who recently celebrated his 60th birthday, has been the chairman of Transcorp Group and is the company's largest shareholder, which has become a hot cake among investors. As people aired their fears regarding Otedola's acquisition, the group chairman, Toni Elumelu, surprisingly told everyone to calm down during an interview with Arise TV on April 26, 2023. The philanthropist, best known for the Toni Elumelu Foundation, expressed joy that his friend is investing in the company and is very much excited to work with Otedola at Transcorp, who he described as a very good friend and brother. He said,
I welcome Femi's, I call him FO or Otedola. I welcome his investment in Transcorp. Yeah. That is what we want.
The chairman of UBA further described people bothering about Otedola's latest investment as emotional. The business mogul also commended his friend and explained,
I'm happy to see an indigenous active investor community, and I'm happy that Femi is investing locally, and he should be commended for that.
The more people invest in the company, the better for us as shareholders. You want to make your stock investors toast, and I am happy that Transcorp has become investors toast.
About 10 years ago, before we took over Transcorp, people were not interested in even people who owned shares. When I wanted to buy over Transcorp, people who owned shares of Transcorp didn't even find a certificate because they lost confidence in the company. Today, under our leadership, Transcorp has consistently, 5 years over now, paid dividend every year. It never happened. You saw the company before.
Sadly, 15 days after Otedola became the second largest shareholder of Transcorp Group, he sold his substantial shareholding in Transcorp of 6.3% to his friend, Elumelu, for about 2.6 billion naira. The chairman of UBA bought the shares in various transactions, racking up his shareholding from 2.07% to 25.9%. Almost immediately, many began to speculate an issue of insider trading involving the two friends, even calling for an investigation of possible illegal practices. However, The true story behind the business dealing began to unravel on May 9 after Premium Times spoke with inside sources. It was gathered that the former chairman of Fort Oil's move to hold major controlling shares of Transcorp upset his friend, Toni Elumelu, prompting him to talk to Otedola, who then agreed to be compensated with millions of dollars. When Premium Times reached out to Otedola, he said that he offered to buy Transcorp for 250 billion naira, but it was rejected by the man he called friend. I offered to buy Transcorp PLC for 250 billion naira, but unfortunately, my offer was rejected. He explained without telling us why.
Today, under our leadership, Transcorp has consistently, 5 years over now, paid dividend every year. It never happened inside the company before.
Later in a statement released online, Otedola detailed how Toni Elumelu has been the weapon fashioned against him for years, regardless of their friendship. The 60-year-old billionaire, who is the single largest shareholder of First Bank, took everyone back to 2005 when Elumelu approached him to buy shares of UBA. Because of their friendship history, Otedola trusted his judgment and invested 2 billion naira in UBA. But once the stock price rose, he tried to sell. However, his friend Toni Elumelu, now the chairman of UBA, convinced him not to sell. He narrated and said, "In 2005, while Toni was the managing director of Standard Trust Bank, he approached me to get funds to acquire UBA. I enthusiastically gave him $20 million, which was 2 billion naira at the time, to buy the necessary shares in UBA for the acquisition. After a short period, the share price moved up and I decided it was a good moment to sell and get out of the bank. However, Toni appealed to me to hold on to the shares as he was convinced that they were future prospects. So, I kept the shares." 2 years after, Otedola in his statement revealed he became the chairman of Transcorp Hotel. Rather than be happy for him, Elumelu started buying shares quietly to usurp him. "I became the chairman of Transcorp Hilton in 2007 with a shareholding of 5%, and unknowingly, Toni gradually started buying shares quietly," he lamented. By 2008, Otedola claimed he went bankrupt, and rather than help him get back on his feet, Elumelu savagely took over his shares in UBA and Africa Finance Corporation to service his loans. That's not all. The business magnate said an American firm approached him to buy his shares in Transcorp, which later turned out to be his friend. Albert Okumangba informed me that an American firm wanted to acquire my shares in Transcorp, which I then agreed to share. However, the supposed American firm turned out to be Toni Elumelu. The revelation of this prompted me to resign as chairman of the hotel. He explained. As if these long years of betrayal weren't enough, Elumelu and Otedola continued their friendship, giving Elumelu yet another opportunity to backstab him. That would come up in 2012 when Elumelu outbid him in Ughelli power plant investment interest after telling the UBA chairman his plans to invest in the power plant. Femi Otedola wrote, "Years later, in 2012, Toni said he wanted to see me. So we went in my office, where I had previously had a meeting with foreign investors who had not yet departed the premises. Curious to know, he asked what sort of meeting I had had, and I disclosed that I wanted to go into the power business, specifically Ughelli power plant. Toni quietly went ahead to bid for Ughelli, and he outbid me in offering to buy the plant for $300 million. Fast forward to 2023, Otedola said the leopard had kept his spot the same and would again come feasting at him in April 2023 when he offered to buy Transcorp for 250 billion naira, but Elumelu rejected it. According to the father of four, he had one goal: to maximize Transcorp's market capitalization potential to at least 2 trillion naira, and was willing to do that with his friend under a healthy competition umbrella. Unfortunately, Elumelu bought him out. My goal was to maximize the company's potential as a Nigerian conglomerate with a market cap of at least 2 trillion naira instead of the current 40 billion naira. But it seems some shareholders have a different vision. As a businessman, I believe in healthy competition and market dynamics. Two captains cannot man a ship, and I respect the majority shareholders' decision to buy me out. This is the nature of the game. But let me be clear, my offer was made with the best intentions for Transcorp PLC and its shareholders. I saw an opportunity to unlock the company's full potential, and and create value for everyone involved. He explained. The UK-based businessman further sent a message to Transcorp shareholders explaining that he is committed to seeing Nigerian-owned businesses succeed, especially stakeholders who often get stipends compared to the managers and owners living a luxury lifestyle. Regardless of how his recent dealing with them went, he was glad to have engaged with them. My message to Transcorp plc and its shareholders is this. I remain committed to the growth and success of Nigerian businesses, and I will always be looking for ways to create value for all stakeholders. Stakeholders are unfortunately always shortchanged by getting stipends while the owners and managers of the business live a jet-set lifestyle, which is detrimental to the stakeholders. Thank you for the opportunity to engage in this exciting chapter of Transcorp's history. He concluded his expose. The business dealing between the two business partners and the statement from Otedola describing Toni Elumelu as a devious friend has been followed by mixed reactions from Nigerians. One Twitter user wrote, Well, let's wait for Toni's side of the story before we conclude. In the interim, this paints Femi better. Previously taking him as the friend that goes after his friend's businesses, appears he was just trying a comeback. Another tweeted, Efo is telling stories. He owned UBA money and refused to surrender his AFC shares as collateral for a long while until UBA dispatched the Energy Bank head and one other person to meet up with him in London, as he claimed he was running from Aliko that wanted to assassinate him. Another wrote, I learnt a lot from his statement. I really love the way Otedola bounced back in the game, and if what he said is true, Toni Elumelu showed him that he's a typical businessman, no friendship in business, no hard feelings and emotions. They are both playing a long game. One wrote, Not my business. It's two billionaires having a midlife crisis. One wrote, Otedola was played by toe. Apparently, this was the playbook used by some of these wicked bank MDs. This was how Jim acquired Zenith. I learned that many years ago, the chairman then, Gabriel Otubu, was outsmarted by Jim, who converted his shares to pay for the loan Otubu took. Another tweeted, Where that guy wey write thread insinuating insider trading? FO said he was bought out by shareholders who did not intend to sell. One also added, I don't care about this story. If you've been following NSC, you know Otedola does these things, pump and dump scheme. This is illegal in most places, but in Nigeria's stock market, no regulations whatsoever. One tweeted, Leave them. Otedola and Elumelu can enter their billionaires' yacht tomorrow for a birthday bash. Another Twitter user added, But seriously, why are poor people putting mouth in this problem? This is clearly not your fight if you have less than 1 million naira in your savings account. Since his friend accused him of backstabbing, Toni Elumelu has not reacted and continues to snub his friend. While doing this, the UBA chairman has been frantically buying more shares in Transcorp together with his wife, Awele Elumelu, pushing Elumelu's holding in Transcorp to 30%. Otedola has also not granted any interview on the issue or said anything further. But on May 13, 2023, the chairman of Garegu Power shared a photo of himself sitting in a park which he captioned, Reflections in the Park. F. Otedola. Tell us guys, what do you think about the recent Transcorp dealings between Toni Elumelu and Femi Otedola? Was it just business or a case of a good friend stabbing the other in the back? Do you believe Otedola's statement saying Elumelu has a habit of betraying him for years? Could it be that Elumelu trusts Otedola's business judgment and is stealing his ideas to become richer? Or is Elumelu just envious? Finally, would this recent issue between the two friends end their long years of friendship and bromance?
Share your opinion in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative, please comment, like and share. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be notified every time I upload a new video so that you don't miss out. Thanks for watching and see you on our next one.